All right, welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, you're right in time for Open Mic. And this evening, we're discussing whether young people are truly involved at the county level. And a lot of your tweets are coming in and are streaming in. Let me read one or two of your feedbacks or comments. Nabal Duncan, you say, absolutely not. Youth contribution have been sidelined in the county level. Samuel, you say, no. Most, if not all, young people at the moment are never concerned with what is going on in their counties. They are not ready to take up responsibility of leadership, a reason why they re-elect every old leader. All right, so those are just some of your comments and your feedback in regards to a Twitter poll question. That's what we're asking. Are young people involved in decision making at the county level 5 years into devolution? And the reason behind this week's topic has been inspired after the devolution conference. The 5th devolution conference just concluded in Kakamega. And I have a great panel with me this evening. I have Wangari Mwikai, who is no stranger to the show. She is in public finance consultancy, and she's an expertise at public finance consultant at Expertise Global Consulting. And next to her, we have Jonah Demon, who is a youth leader at ODM. And joining us all the way from Kisumu this evening is Raymond Ochieng, who is the CEO of National Youth Council. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for having me.
I would love to start with Raymond Ochieng. Raymond, you were personally at the Devolution conference that just concluded this week. Do you feel as if young people were well and adequately represented?
I must say that representation of the young people may not be measured by the number of them that were in the devolution conference. So I would not make a blanket answer on this, but I think maybe we may go deeper in terms of all the parameters of devolution. Do we have young people involved? Because again, another thing, you know, it can be a huge PR exercise to have 3,000 young people attending a forum, yet there are no actions.
Right.
I believe I look at it in two sides of the coin. Young people are involved. Yes, the involvement is there, but the involvement needs to be scaled to the next level. Remember, we were doing the first tier of the county governments, and we've had a lot of challenges. And then lastly, another thing about the youth function, which is still not a devolved function. So we have the teething issues whereby you'll find the counties are saying that when it comes to youth functionalities, go to the national government. And the national government also is aware that the county governments have got the county executive committee members who are literally the ministers in charge of youth. So I'm saying the journey, we are not there yet, but there are some things that are happening. And the young people also need to come out and know what is there for them in terms of, you can only engage if you have information. And I believe these are some of the things that the young people need to pull up to.
Right, Raymond. And I'm glad you talked about teething issues, because we're going to come to the issues of challenges. Yeah. Wangari, allow me to just loop you into the conversation. 5 years on, how would you grade the success of devolution in the country, especially for young people?
Thank you, Zinzi. I think it's difficult to put a grade on performance of devolution because there are different counties that are doing different things. Some counties are doing excellent in financial management, some are doing very poorly in sports, some are doing very well in environment, others are doing very badly in water. So it's really a mixed bag. And also, it wouldn't be quite fair to grade this early because devolution is always a transitionary event. Right. We're only about 5 years into it, so we can't really say, look, we're doing well, we're doing badly. Everything is kind of in transition from a big unit, from what used to be a unitary government into a devolved government. So I wouldn't be so harsh as to grade because things are still in flux. All the functions were devolved at one time, so everybody has to learn as they go. So I think so far, I think we are doing our best.
All right, Jonah?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay, mine will be a bit funny because devolution itself, it's a nice thing. And we all agree that devolution is well for us as young people in Kenya, but it does not work well for us kama vijana. Na ukweli kabisa, wacha niseme ya kwamba baada ya mwaka 2010 kuna yale ambapo tumeona ikifanyika, na ni kweli kabisa hatujawahi fika kiwango ambapo tulikuwa tunahitaji kama vijana. Devolution imetusaidia kwa sababu imeleta mambo ikaweza kuwa katika hali ambapo vijana wanaweza jua ya kwamba kuna mambo na miradi ambapo wanaweza fanya. Lakini kwa ufupi haijawahi fika mahali ambapo tunahitaji kama vijana.
I'd like to just ask a simple question. Is it that the young people haven't realized what's in it for them in devolution, or ni wasetu wamedecide, unajua nini, mi nitaenda Nairobi kutafuta job, because probably 47 counties, we're trying to split all these things to the different counties, sharing the resources equally in different counties. But then do the young people know what's in it for them?
Well, that's actually is a big challenge, and I think the youth don't really understand what functions have been devolved to them. Now, youth in itself is just, it's a bracket of individuals. It's not a function in and of itself. So when you look at some of the services that are being provided by the county and some that are being provided by the national government, the youth, I would say, they need to understand who should be providing what services. So if I want to know about, university education, primary education, secondary education, that is a national government function. There's no way that the county government can provide solutions towards that in that area. They can perhaps advocate. But when it comes to polytechnics and vocational training, that is firmly in the space of the county governments. So it's really about being empowered with the knowledge, knowing where to expect what, and going to demand for or to ask for the services from the correct level of government to receive them. So I do agree with even what Raymond had said earlier.
Let me share with you an interesting number I came across. Now, only 7 out of 100 young people are reported to read the newspaper. 7 daily. 7 out of 100. And honestly, if the county governments are going to reach towards these young people, don't you not think how we channel that information? Because we have said that information is one of the key challenges. Young people are not aware of the solutions and of the opportunities there. So could we say that how we channel this information towards this young demographic should be different? Raymond, let me pitch that question to you, because you also touched on it with one of your answers early on. The way we sort of deliver information to young people should be packaged differently.
Definitely how you package information to young people, they prefer more of infotainment, whereby information is also packaged with a little bit of entertainment. But again, the other flip side is, if the young people can use the energy that they put together to know which artist is coming from America in town, and they translate that also to know what actually is there for them. You know, what was so funny about the Devolution conference that I just winded up, we had the tent for AGPO, and young people were coming, and some were even asking us, what is AGPO? Can you help me to spell the word AGPO? And yet, this is something that you hear the government is setting aside 200 billion, which means 30% of opportunities should go to the young people. That's why I don't want to make a blanket decision. And I agree with my colleagues here that even the young people, we have to go out and we have to know, because you are not going to engage government if you don't know what is your right. And why do parents pay school fee? They pay school fee because we know we have a right. They are our parents, and they brought us to be in this earth, and therefore we have to put them to responsibility. So that other thing. So we must also a little bit get worried, as much as there's a slow process. But again, the young people must fight for their space. One thing I celebrate about the women in this country, you talk about the 2/3 gender rule. Why do you hear it so much? Because young people, women are fighting for their spaces. Persons with disability, you go to every meeting, you'll find most of them coming out and vocally coming out to articulate what they believe should go for them.
All right, Jonah.
Young people, I think we should not only also spread ourselves so much into entertainment and not push for the information. So I believe one thing, many people will not sit there and bring young opportunities to young people. Young people have to go for them.
Jonah, what are your thoughts in regards to even what Raymond has just said? First of all, young people having to go for those opportunities. More so, I'd love for you to comment as an ODM youth leader, how we package this information towards young people.
Asante sana Nzizi. Nzizi, nataka niseme kwa wazi sana ya kwamba maisha ya vijana kweli tumekosea kidogo kama serikali kuu pamoja na serikali ya kaunti, ya kwamba hakuna maelezo kamili ambapo vijana wameweza kupata. When we talk about information, this we call civic education. Vijana wamekosea kabisa, hawapati nafasi ya kuelezwa na kufundishwa jinsi ambapo wanaweza tafuta hizi kazi kutoka kwa national government, ama the connection between national government and the county government. What is it there that belongs to them as youth of this county? Sasa ni shida tu kidogo, kwa sababu relationship between the national government na county government through the sector ama hii mambo ya vijana kidogo imekuwa chini kidogo. So vijana wamekaa pale, vile unasema ni aibu sana kusema kwamba between 100 the 100 youth, ni wasaba tu peke yake wanaweza access gazeti na kusoma na kupata information ya kwamba ni nini inaendelea. So ni shida kubwa sana katika maisha yetu kama vijana. Vijana wengi sana, we are 75% in this country. Wale wamesoma, the dropouts ni wengi sana. Wale wako kwa colleges ni wengi. Wale wametoka university ama kwa university ni wengi sana. Lakini tunakosea kwa sababu maisha ambapo vijana wamekaa, tunabaki ya kwamba unapata vijana wameingia kwa mambo zingine, wawezi pata information ili wajue ya kwamba nimekubaliana na Raymond kabisa ya kwamba vijana wengi sana hata ukitransfer across the country hawajui AGPO ni nini. Na ukiwaambia maneno ya AGPO, kwa sababu wanastahili kuelewa AGPO ni nini, wanapoenda kutafuta hizo kazi, the 30% ambapo serikali ilisema, wanastahili kubeba nini na wanastahili wakibeba, wanastahili kufanya nayo nini.
Right.
Ile shida ambapo tunapitia kama vijana wameingia miadarati, wameingia mambo mengi sana kwa sababu hawana information, lack of information, proper information. Ndio sababu vijana wameingia mambo mengi sana ambapo imeruin maisha yao. Na ninataka kusema Raymond, nataka kumshukuru kwa sababu aliingia Kakamega na akaona kweli kabisa every speaker who spoke in that devolution conference, no one touched about youth. Na kama kuna yule aliongea maneno ya vijana, waliongea juju for political mileage. Lakini kwa sababu
we have to cut you short kidogo kwa sababu tulikuwa Kakamega, and we want to make sure that you get to listen to what the people of Kakamega said, because yo nini ilikuwa kali sana, the point that you've just said, and coincides with some of the things that people said. We're going to go for a short break. Na tukirudi hivi, we're going to make sure that you get more information about what we're discussing right now. Keep it Youth Cafe.
Some counties haven't really put the youth agenda. They are not actively playing the youth agenda. They have it on papers and they are very nice for donor funding and what have you, but on the ground, there's nothing happening. We'll request the governors to take it further from just having on the papers to take it and actually serve the youth.
We believe that we youths, we have really benefited a lot here, and we have an opportunity, we have a role to trickle whatever we have gained here down to our people. So I think most of the youths here, going forward as we move away from this station, we are going to have our meetings with our colleagues so that we can share with them whatever we have gained in this devolution conference.
An event like this is very productive on our side, but unfortunately the program hasn't flown through, because as we are standing here, most of us are unable to take part in the whole conference. We are here as participants instead of being here as stakeholders. My plea is to the relevant authorities. We are here as stakeholders. We are here as part of the devolution movement. 30% is being allocated to us youths, to persons of disabilities, and to women. We are stakeholders of this thing. So therefore, it would be very unfortunate if our views were not presented as part of the whole devolution conference.
Naomba sana CS wa devolution, Mr. Wamalwa, atufanye tuwe ambassadors wake ili kusaidia president for the 4 big agendas. Because what you want, tuko energetic, tuko na nguvu, tuko na fresh mind from the school. Tunahitaji sasa ni ile support tuweze kupata opportunities na zile powers ili tuweze kuserve our fellow youth.